If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Saturday morning. Alex, the NBA Conference Finals are almost set. We know 3 of the 4 teams that we will be playing. The Spurs win last night, 139-109. They blow out the Timberwolves. They move on. They win Game 6.
Yeah, I was watching about halfway through the third quarter, and then...
You made it that far?
I did make it that far. And then it seemed pretty set in stone that the Spurs were going to move on.
I think it was set in stone a little earlier.
It was pretty bad. It got rough, man. It got rough. And then there was at some point during the third quarter when literally nothing was going for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Spurs just kept inflating that lead and inflating that lead and inflating that lead. And then I said, all right, you know what? I'm gonna watch TV.
What'd you watch instead? I'm joking.
I found this fun show on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah,
more fun than a blowout.
Yeah.
But the Pistons, they tie it up, force a Game 7. Shout out again to our waterboarding guy. The Pistons win last night, 115-94. It was looking like, going into the game, Donovan Mitchell would potentially get to his first conference finals ever, but he's going to need one more win to do it. Super disappointing performance again from James Harden. He had another game with more turnovers than assists. He actually had more turnovers than made field goals. He had 8 turnovers. He had 6 made field goals, 4 assists. Again, 8 turnovers. Did you see the clip of him? He flopped, shocker, and he was really sweaty, and there wasn't a chance for the crew to come in and wipe up the wet spot. And then the next possession, a Cavaliers player slipped, and it led to a transition layup.
No,
I did not. Did you see that?
I did not see that. But I have been very disappointed with James Harden and his performance. And I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. And we talked a little bit about it last week. And, in Game 6, he has 8 turnovers to just 6 field goals. And I think that kind of encapsulates why the Cleveland Cavaliers are back in a situation where they have to battle out in Game 7 to try to make it into the next round.
I just don't understand how they felt like that was the best they could do at the trade deadline.
Right.
Darius Garland for James Harden. I get why they wanted to move off of Darius Garland, but James Harden is essentially the same player. And I guess he's probably a better three-point shooter, but you wouldn't be able to tell in this series. I mean, 3 of 8 last night. He's not coming in and doing what Cleveland made the trade for.
Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell, only 18 points for him, 6 of 20 shooting. Again, another just chucking night, that we've seen so many times here in Utah where he feels like he's feeling the pressure. His backup is against the wall. He feels like he's not getting help from his teammates. I know Game 5, he went nuclear. He had 31 points in the third quarter. And he feels like he can just chuck, and he chucks and chucks and chucks. And last night, 6 of 20. You're going to have nights like that from Donovan Mitchell. And so you've got to have another scoring option with him. And when James Harden is off, which has been almost every game this playoffs, he really has not made an impact at all. You're really betting on a Donovan Mitchell performance, which doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, and I mean, for Jazz fans, it's a little bit of a familiar sight, right? When the desperation begins to crawl in, and he's just chucking things up to chuck things up, and to try to play hero ball, and to try to be the guy to to put his team over the hill and over the hump and try to move on to the next round. But as you see, as you go back to some of the playoff series that you saw here with the Utah Jazz, and now that you're just seeing now with this playoff series with the Cavaliers, he needs help.
You think that's what it is?
With the Cavs, yes.
You think they're going to trade him?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
Jake and Ben were floating around a fun scenario yesterday. Obviously, it's hard because Cleveland is up against the second apron, and that makes trades extremely difficult. But imagine a scenario in which the Cavaliers worked out some sort of Donovan for Giannis swap. They'd probably need to get some other teams involved, but, just looking at it from the perspective of Donovan goes to Milwaukee, Giannis goes to the Cavaliers.
I could see it as a way as the Cavs trying to extend this window that they have right now before they truly go rebuild.
That's what's funny, though, is, Donovan Mitchell is your window. So if you trade him away, I think the Cavs should just do what the Jazz did and tear it down. And obviously, that would be great for the Jazz because the Jazz own their pick.
Yeah, if they don't win, if they don't win tomorrow's, it's tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow's game. Yeah. If they don't win Game 7, then I think the front office of the Cavaliers has to seriously consider tearing it down.
I think they will. I think they will consider it because the Cavaliers in 4 years are learning what it took 4 or 5 years for the Jazz to learn. And if you have Donovan Mitchell on your ceiling, his highs are really high, but he's not always playing at his best. And you need to have a dang near perfect roster built around him. Mm-hmm. And this Cavaliers roster is extremely flawed. They don't have any adults in the room. And Donovan Mitchell's not going to be the adult in the room when it comes to the playoffs. And damn well James Harden's not an adult in the room, right? So it's not even close to working out. I don't see how, again, with the salary limitations that the second apron brings, I don't see how Cleveland makes this better without some sort of desperation move, and it would really take a handout from somebody else. Again, if you mentioned I brought up a potential Giannis deal, why would Milwaukee want to help out Cleveland anyways? That's literally it's a handout.
Unless they're that desperate to move on from Giannis.
Right. And I don't know if they are. So we'll see. But this Cavaliers situation, honestly, to bring a point to the Jazz, it's going about as well as the Jazz could have hoped. I know there was some initial question on whether he would sign a first extension there in the first place, and he did, Donovan Mitchell. But with the Jazz still controlling at least one more pick from Cleveland, I believe it is the 2028 pick. I mean, if Cleveland decides to rebuild, man, then you're looking really, really smart for making that deal.
Oh, yeah.
Because you bet 4 years ago that Donovan Mitchell would not stay in Cleveland that long.
Dude, that was quite the gamble.
And we'll see. And maybe there's a chance that this is salvaged. And again, maybe Donovan wins tomorrow and they move on to the conference finals, and that's enough hope for Cleveland.
But even if they move on, do they get past the Knicks?
I don't think it matters. As far as for this conversation, as far as for keeping Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland, I do think if they move on to the conference finals, I think that alleviates.
Is that enough to justify running it back one more and
for
trying to run it back one more season?
In their eyes, I think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but
yeah.
So it's funny that is the narrative with this game, with this series. Honestly, it's Donovan Mitchell trying to salvage his career in not salvage his career, but relationship with Cleveland.
His time in Cleveland, yeah, absolutely.
And that's gonna be a big domino that falls this offseason. If not, that's gonna be a huge domino. So we will see. Game 7 tomorrow.
Good for the Knicks, man. They got hot at the perfect time. There was times during the regular season where I had questions whether or not this Knicks team would actually be able to do something, and then they turn it up.
I don't agree with that at all.
You don't think they turned up the heat a little bit in the playoffs?
I think that they played probably two of the worst teams in the entire Eastern bracket, and the Eastern bracket sucks. I don't think the Hawks or the 76ers would be in the playoffs if they were in the West.
So how differently would that conversation go if the Celtics actually made it past?
Honestly, I think Celtics would have won at least 6 games against the Knicks, like we saw last year. That was a really good series, and that's when Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. But that was a great series up until then. And I know that this Celtics team is different than last year's. But I definitely think that Boston would have pushed New York at least a little bit. They didn't get any pushback from the 76ers. They rolled over and died.
Clean sweep. Clean sweep. The 76ers.
I'm still not in on New York at all.
Really?
No,
I'm coming around to them a little bit.
They can score in bunches.
I liked what I saw from Jalen Brunson.
I am interested if they run into Detroit because Detroit's whole thing is defense, right?
Yes.
So, and New York is just offense. So we'll see who wins. We'll see which, playing style wins there. I think that's going to be really fun.
I think it'll be a fantastic matchup. But I think ultimately the Pistons are still young.
Yeah.
Whereas the Knicks have a lot of veterans on that team, and you think experience and being in this situation before would hopefully pay off for the Knicks. I do think the Knicks move on in the Eastern Conference. Whether it be the Cavs, whether it be the Pistons.
Back to the Timberwolves game, I wanted to get this sound clip. Last night, again, I brought up there was some controversy. 8 minutes left in the game. The Spurs were up 128-95. Timberwolves coach waves the white flag. Chris Finch pulls all of the starters, throws in the reserves. 128-95, 8 minutes left. Anthony Edwards goes to the Spurs huddle, and he starts dapping up all the Spurs players and coaches, basically congratulating them for moving on. And the Amazon Prime post-game panel, it was Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, and Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
And Steve Nash. They had some thoughts, all former players, and I think they gave some pretty interesting insight on this incident with Anthony Edwards.
Here is the moment where he said he was just giving them the respect they deserve. 8 minutes were left in the game. Your reactions to this moment?
I've watched the NBA and been a part of it for a long, long time. I've never seen this. A guy walking into the huddle with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and dapping up the entire team. Too much for me. Obviously, you can do that after the game and show plenty of respect. That was a little strange for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do like what he said, that he wants to give him respect, but I think you wait and you have to take your licks at the end of the game like everybody else. I do want to say, I mean, he was definitely hobbled. Minnesota definitely hobbled. With DiVincenzo out, Io didn't look like he was full strength either, and they played hard. It was a valiant effort, but he was right. San Antonio was just a better team.
Yeah. Now, you had a reaction there to what he said at the end about needing to build a team that has championship habits, playoff habits. I didn't get to hear the question he was asked, but what were you thinking when you heard that?
Well, you would think that they would have that by now. You would think that they would have that. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. You would think over the years that they've built that. I understand. I think this is Julius Randle's second year, but you would think that a team that has been there, they would have those habits. So the fact that they don't have those habits are very disappointing to me. Because once you get here, and I say this all the time, the playoffs has a way of revealing what's inside you. And I didn't like what I saw from some of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant was definitely hobbled. DiVincenzo was out. But some of the things I saw I didn't like. And what I will say is great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears because I'm so damn mad we losing. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm going to sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm going to put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So that's just the way I handle things. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit old school. I understand there's a different generation, but I don't think if they were beating San Antonio, Wemby would have went down there and shook his hand with 8 minutes left. I don't think so. I damn sure know Wemby wouldn't have went down there and shook his hand.
I don't even know if that's old school.
So for me, I love Ant-Man as a basketball player. I love where he's going to be as a basketball player, but as a leader, the next few steps he needs to make are little small details and things like that, because other people on your team, and those guys are always watching you and they're following you whether you know it or not.
Thoughts?
Oh, Haslam's 100% right. This is a guy that has conversations about him about being a potential face of the league, right? About Anthony Edwards being the guy. And for all those guys, for all those legends to come out on that desk and say, look, this is something we've never seen in the NBA before. And for him to be a leader on this team, on that Timberwolves team, for him to be a leader on amongst, the NBA and being one of the potential faces of this league, I couldn't agree more with Haslam. You don't go down there and you shake their hands with 8 minutes left. You go out there and you cheer on your guys that are coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I do. On the other hand, I do think, like, absolutely, the respect has been earned by the Spurs, right? The respect is there. And I think one of them mentioned it, right, about his comment about, wanting to show that respect to the San Antonio Spurs for being as good as they were in this series and for going toe-to-toe in this series or whatever. But I think more so with Haslam's point, like, as a leader, you shouldn't have walked down there with 8 minutes left.
That's the part that I agree with. I'm wondering where all these questions on Anthony Edwards' leadership is coming from, and I guess that's part of it is shaking hands with 8 minutes left, whatever. The Timberwolves are lucky that Anthony Edwards was playing to begin with. I shouldn't say lucky. I should say blessed that Anthony Edwards gives a crap to try and play.
Yeah.
If it was any other player in the NBA, would they have been out there? I don't think so. I mean, this was a dude that was not even supposed to play this series.
Yeah.
And he was there game one, and his team won, by the way. And he didn't even play a big part, but that's real leadership. Like, again, this was just over a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That's leadership. And now all of a sudden there's questions about his leadership because at the end of the day, this Timberwolves team was ravaged by injuries. And I know that's part of the game. I'm not making an excuse for them, but like, yeah, it's pretty tough to beat the San Antonio Spurs when your best player can barely walk. Your second best scorer blew his Achilles.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle no-showed. What'd they score? I think they were a combined 6 points. No, 3 points from Randle, 0 points from Rudy last night. 3 total points. That's $67 million of your roster combining for 3 points. But it's Anthony Edwards that gets the leadership questions because he's recognizing what we're all recognizing. This Timberwolves team was just too thin. Because of all the injuries, because it's, again, similar to Cleveland. Like, it's a flawed roster. Julius Randle's not going to give you anything. Rudy Gobert can't give you anything offensively. Dosunmu was playing hurt. I don't know, man. That kind of bugs me that his leadership is called into question because of this. I think you talk about the NBA and everybody's buddy-buddy. I think it's more of that instead of being a poor leader.
Yeah. Well, I think also some of it comes from some of his post-game press conference comments as well, where the media, he sits in front of the media and they ask him what is holding this team back. Why, what's the difference between you making it, being eliminated now and you guys making it on to the next round? And he basically sits there, laughs, and says no comment.
Well, what do you want him to say? Because if he says something, then he gets barbecued too, right?
I guess
he gets called a poor leader.
I guess he can't go wrong, or I guess he can't say
right. There's no right answer in that scenario.
In that moment.
I think it's just crazy that 2 weeks ago we're here on the Saturday show talking, like, commending Anthony Edwards for his heroic, bravery to play and all this, and then 2 weeks later it's he's a terrible leader all of a sudden. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. And you know what? Frankly, Udonis Haslem, I don't know.
I mean,
talking about himself as a leader. When were you ever a leader? You were carried by.
He didn't have the greatest.
He was carried by Dwayne Wade for 20 years. Right. Look, I'll take what Dirk has to say. I get it. Never seen that. Sure. Blake Griffin to an extent, but what did he ever accomplish?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That really rubs me the wrong way, and that's honestly, I think it paints the NBA's biggest problem is. It hates its biggest stars. Like the media, and when I say it, I mean the media, and specifically these former players. Like, think of all the terrible things that Shaq has done for Donovan and Rudy and some of these other players, right? Just because he doesn't like them or feels threatened by them or whatever. There's a problem with these former NBA players feeling threatened by this younger generation. Anthony Edwards has already had a much greater career than Blake Griffin has ever had.
I would agree.
Right?
I would agree.
So of course he's not going to want to sit there and talk about Anthony Edwards as the face of the league or whatever. I actually happen to like Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Dirk can talk. I respect him. I respect his career. Steve Nash, he can talk.
Yeah.
Udonis Haslem, I don't know, man. That's where I'm at with this. I just think that's a really interesting situation. Again, if it's a fully, and I get that it's playoffs and injuries happen and that's sports, but like we're not having this conversation. This series does not unfold this way if Anthony Edwards is 100%. Even if DiVincenzo never tore his Achilles. I'm just taking a fully 100% Anthony Edwards.
If that whole roster is fully healthy, right, heading into this playoff game, do they take down the San Antonio Spurs?
I don't even know if they take him down, but they don't. Look, 3 of their losses were blowouts. 3 of these 4 losses. Only 1 loss was within 10 points, right? So I don't know if I say the Timberwolves win the series, but it's, again, like, it's not this bad of a blowout.
So where do the Timberwolves go from here?
And that's where it gets interesting. I know we're way over, but I like this conversation because, again, it is relevant to the Jazz because of the Rudy Gobert ties.
Absolutely.
There was a report from The Athletic this morning that internally the Timberwolves feel like Julius Randle's poor performance this playoffs is because he was butthurt that he was included in trade talks for Giannis at the trade deadline.
I understand. Going back to the Cat trade, right, to the Knicks, I understand why you make that because, I mean, the second apron is killer. The CBA is killer.
Yeah.
You have to make moves to make sure that you're not in the second apron and potentially, overpaying, your roster, potentially losing draft picks down because of the way the CBA is set up and the way the second apron is set up. I understand why you have to make that move. I understand why you avoid that situation and why you make the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. But I think that move ultimately hurts the Timberwolves a lot more, and they're in a much tougher situation now as far as trying to get over the hump than they would be with Karl-Anthony Towns.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I felt like that, and I know they went to the conference finals with Julius Randle and with Cat, but I feel like the Cat version of this team was much better than Julius Randle.
100%.
Just because even, Cat's not a perfect player. He has his flaws, but Julius Randle's flaws are way, glaring. He's like 3 points in an elimination game.
One of the most inconsistent dudes I've ever seen.
I totally agree.
He'll have his moments, right? He'll come out and he'll give you a pretty good, for every good game that he has, he'll have 5 to 10 bad games. Or in, I guess, games
Maybe
where
not
he
that drastic,
doesn't.
but yes.
It feels like that,
3
though.
to 5,
it feels like
it feels
certainly
like that.
feels like
Yeah.
that. And I mean, it rears its head more in a playoff series.
Yeah.
When your guys don't show up, when a
Right.
Julius Randle doesn't show up, and I think you saw that a lot in this series.
So we'll keep an eye on the Timberwolves this offseason, another team that has been tied into Giannis trade talks in the past. We'll see if that continues. So funny that Rudy and Donovan both tied to Giannis this offseason. We will see. We got to take a break. Coming up next, 5 minutes of. It's going to be real short.
Yes.
Real short. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
This year, experience the NHL Playoffs your way. Want to watch a single, do or die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series? Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
Your vehicle doesn't just get you from here to there. It's a bridge to the people and places that matter most. It's how you show up for your family, your community, and everyone else that depends on you. That's why for 125 years, Firestone has been building tires with one thing in mind: to deliver products that are as reliable as you are. Firestone, always dependable since 1900.
Kick off Memorial Day savings with up to an extra $1,000 off select top brand appliances like Frigidaire. Plus, get free delivery at the Home Depot. Stack your appliance lineup with a fridge with an extra large ice capacity and an oven with over 15 cooking modes. Then let the real MVP handle cleanup with a dishwasher's 50-minute wash cycle. Shop appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid May 14th through June 3rd. U.S. only. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. See store online for details.
It's the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, taking you through the week in sports. It's time for 5 minutes of. Went pretty long last segment. Really had a good conversation, though, on the Cavaliers and Timberwolves and how that ties to the Jazz and what the futures look like for those two teams. We'll have that podcast that I'd really recommend you listen to it. Good stuff there. Alex, we only have a couple minutes here, but let's talk Stanley Cup playoffs. We haven't talked a lot about it since the Mammoth were eliminated, but the conference finals are set for the West. Yes. The Avalanche have moved on to nobody's surprise. Actually, I'm surprised that the series with the Wild was as lopsided as it was. Colorado still won 4-1.
Yes.
They are the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NHL. They swept the Kings in the first round and then 4-1 against the second best team in the West, the Wild. So that was a pretty surprising series.
It was fun to watch, I think, from the perspective of like these are two really good teams going head to head.
Yeah.
In Minnesota and Colorado, but I was disappointed that it ultimately went 4-1. I was disappointed that, especially after that 9-6 game to kick off the series, man.
Barn burner.
I definitely thought that this had potential to go a little bit further. I wouldn't say the distance. I wouldn't say Game 7, but I did think that
at least a couple wins for Minnesota.
Minnesota would be able to figure something out.
Everybody hyped them up, and I get the Quinn Hughes trade was a big deal, and he's played out of his mind since joining the Wild, and they had an incredible regular season, and it really set the stage for this in the playoffs. But I totally agree with you. A little underwhelming there.
Yeah, I do. And then I got my hopes up a little bit, right? Minnesota's up 3-0 after the first period in that final game in Game 5 to close out. And then here comes the Avalanche, man. Just come roaring back. Put one in the second period, put two in the third to force overtime, and then they get the overtime winner to close out the series. That was super fun to watch. I think there's a lot of moments in this series that were fun in that sense, but it was ultimately disappointing that the Minnesota Wild couldn't win just even one more game.
And they will be playing the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh!
Does that bum you out or make you feel better that the Knights advanced past Anaheim? I would feel worse if Anaheim advanced because I feel like Utah could beat Anaheim, right?
Yes.
So if Anaheim would have advanced, I'd be like, oh, that should have been the Mammoth.
Yes. I think Tortorella has done wonders for this team and
done wonders.
Yeah, and the
Did you see they got fined and lost a pick yesterday?
You know what?
That's why I laughed.
I totally forgot about that. Yes, I did see that.
They got docked a second-round pick.
Because they were trying to make it to their flight, man.
That's funny.
They were trying to hurry up and get to their flight. They lost a pick because they didn't have enough post-media availability. Tortorella didn't speak. I think one player spoke, and then that was pretty much it. Yeah,
second-round pick.
I forgot that. That's
That's steep.
Quite a penalty for missing out on a post-game press conference.
So do you think that Avs and Golden Knights will be closer than Avs and Wild? I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so. For as much credit, as much fun as the Golden Knights, I guess, have had this playoffs, I think the Wilds are the better team than the Golden Knights. And, I mean, we saw what happened with the Wild. Wouldn't surprise me if this is another 4-1 series for Colorado.
I don't know, man. I think that the Golden Knights might. I don't know if I feel comfortable picking them to upset the Avalanche, obviously, but
no, I'm
this
still
is a
going.
sneaky good team. I think this is a really good team that has figured their stuff out for the playoffs.
I'm still
Speaking
going
of Vegas.
Avalanche.
I think it's gonna be a closer series. I think they're gonna win at least 2 games.
Mitch Marner's been.
Dude, did you see that goal?
Yeah. That goal was awesome.
All-timer.
Mitch Marner has stepped up.
And he started out cold against Utah.
Yeah,
and then he found his groove later in the series.
Took him until that last game against Utah to finally score.
Yeah.
Had a couple assists here and there. Yeah, had a couple assists here and there. So I mean, he wasn't completely pedestrian. Like it wasn't like he wasn't contributing. Like he was still putting up assists. He was still doing some really good things.
Yeah.
But he's finally after that first game or that last game against Utah, he's finally found a scoring touch, and he's been fun to watch since.
Over to the East, not a ton of drama. Carolina
Yeah,
really impressive. They sweep the first and second round. They swept the Senators, and then they swept the Ottawa Senators, and then Philadelphia after that. So Carolina has not lost a game yet in this playoffs.
Nope.
They are going to be meeting the winner of the Sabres and Canadiens. That game 6 is today. Montreal leads that series 3-2. So we'll see if Montreal, if they win today in advance, or if Josh Doan, our guy, can help keep Buffalo afloat. Still weird to me that they were the 1 seed in the East. That I know that they turned things around, but they have not felt that good to me. But they got past Boston in the first round. Carolina's really good though.
Carolina is really good. They seem to be the team that is going to
win the East.
But don't count out the Canadiens. I was very, surprised to see them take down the Lightning in the first round, and now they're putting up a really good fight against the Sabres. If the Canadiens can move on, I expect that to be a really fun series. Honestly, whoever moves on between the Sabres and the Canadiens, both of those teams, I'm curious to see after game 1 if they can be competitive enough with Carolina.
Yeah,
because Carolina has looked unbeatable.
Somebody's got to push them, right?
Right.
But I don't think like if Carolina advances to the championship, the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't think they're going to walk away with it easy there.
No.
Even if it is Vegas and not Colorado. I don't know. Maybe the East is just weak, but the whole regular season, everybody was talking about the East being better than the West. So it's really weird to see one team just run through everybody. I don't know exactly what is going on with that. Yeah. I think from what it sounds like, though, it sounds like a lot of people are kind of surprised that Carolina is playing this well in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And again, credit to them. This reminds me of the comment that Nate Schmidt said of no one's going to win the no one's going to win the Stanley Cup by going 16-0. No one's going to be perfect in the playoffs. But so far,
get pushed a little bit.
So far Carolina has done that. They have been pushed, but they've been able to close out games. They've been able to go through with a clean sweep on both series. I don't know if you did get that in the conference finals, whether you take on the Sabres or the Canadiens, but then when it comes to the championship, right? If you take on the Avalanche if it is the Avalanche and the Hurricanes, that's going to be a tremendous series.
Game 6 today in Montreal. So we'll see if that matters, if the Canadiens can advance. Meet Carolina in the conference finals. We got to take one final break, then we will wrap up this show next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
This year, experience the NHL Playoffs your way. Want to watch a single, do-or-die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series? Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
Shop with confidence at the Home Depot and get Memorial Day deals on Ryobi, the #1 cordless outdoor power brand. Both the Ryobi 18-volt and 40-volt self-propelled mower kits are on special buy for just $449 each, was $479. Ryobi's battery platform delivers the power, runtime, and dependability you need to tackle your yard work with ease. Shop Memorial Day deals on Ryobi outdoor power, only at the Home Depot. Pricing valid 5/14 through 5/27, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Hiring isn't just filling a role. It's about finding people who can drive results. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you match with the right candidates faster. Target candidates by skills, certifications, or location. Join the 3.3 million employers worldwide that use Indeed to connect with quality talent that fits their needs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way. With Indeed.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles. Real quick, Alex, let's run through today's schedule for the rest of the day. But then we've got something we've got to hit before the show wraps as our producer Sean is working to get this in the system. But real quick.
Today's schedule?
Today's schedule. Do you have it?
Yeah, it looks like this.
Okay.
Real Salt Lake versus Colorado Rapids, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 kickoff. That will be on 97.5. You'll have the Bees taking on El Paso, 6:20 pregame, 6:35 first pitch on 12:80 a.m. Also want to remind you that we do have some action going on tomorrow. The Bees taking on El Paso. That one starts at 1:50 pre, 2:05 first pitch. You can catch that on both 97.5 and 12:80 a.m. And then the Utah Royals taking on Racing Louisville, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff on both 97.5 and 12:80 a.m.
Rocky Mountain Cup today.
Rocky Mountain Cup. Real Salt Lake taking on
7:30.
Colorado Rapids.
That's
Yep.
always a
good rivalry.
It used to always be a fun game.
Yeah, and
It's a fun rivalry.
I think it's picked up a little bit more. So Real Salt Lake were dominant. They would win the Rocky Mountain Cup just about every single year. 2 years ago, Colorado ended up winning the cup back, and I think that's kind of re-sparked and reignited the rivalry a little bit.
And that's where Pablo Mastroeni played.
Yes, yep,
So
that's where he
that's
played,
an
and that's where he
interesting-
won an MLS Cup as a player.
Interesting wrinkle to the rivalry. Okay, before we wrap, to all you conspiracy theorists out there, ABC might have just spoiled the Eastern Conference Finals for everybody because this morning they ran a Cavaliers-Knicks Eastern Conference Finals promo. This just happened like literally 30 minutes ago.
Nice.
We have the audio. Sean, go ahead and play it.
So the NBA Finals ends here. The Cavs eye another upset, while the Knicks carry the dreams of all of New York. The Eastern Conference Finals, Cavaliers-Knicks, Game 1 on ABC. So the NBA Finals ends here.
Well, there you go. Tinfoil hat. Let me ask you a question, Alex. Is this spoiling the finals, or is this just because they have a promo ready to run for both teams?
No. This is the script getting leaked. This is the powers that be at the NBA. They already have who they want in the finals. This is this is Adam Silver giving us a hint of what's going to happen next.
So there's no sense in watching Game 7 tomorrow? Because so allegedly, according to this, the Cavaliers already have it wrapped up.
Yeah.
According to our poor Detroit Pistons waterboarding fan, all of that is in vain?
All of it is in vain.
If he waterboards himself, it's in vain. It doesn't matter?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the Cavs Knicks.
He still has not made his statement, by the way.
Oh, man. I was kind of hoping that he would before the show ended.
Me too.
Because I was curious.
I've got to know what he has to say.
Yeah. You'll have to send it to me.
So looking good for Donovan then. It sounds like they're going to win tomorrow night.
No, all jokes aside, in all seriousness, they probably had both ready to roll, right? They have one for the Pistons and one for the Cavs. Like they promos were made ahead of time.
That's how things work.
Yeah, that's how things work. And then they made both of them, and someone accidentally ran it this morning.
I wonder how that gets out because that game's not. It's not like the game's tonight, and this could have been scheduled to run tomorrow morning. The game's not till tomorrow night.
It was probably meant for tonight or for tomorrow night's game, right? It was probably meant for Pistons. Wait, no, because it's on Prime. I don't know how that happens. Actually,
neither.
Someone accidentally threw it in there.
Somebody made a big mistake.
It would make more sense if ABC had the game tonight or had the Game 7, right?
Yeah.
And they accidentally played that one instead of running a Game 7 promotion. But I just realized that it's going to be on Prime Video.
And
so
guess
that
what?
makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, this is. Well, again, we know Cleveland is winning.
Yeah.
So don't bother watching.
No, somebody just cut a promo.
Somebody got fired.
Somebody cut a promo and accidentally ran the wrong one.
The owner of ABC just kicked in the door, Stephen Ross style.
Oh, somebody
to fire whatever producer ran this promo.
I feel bad for that producer.
Yeah.
They leaked the script, man.
They leaked the script. Adam Silver's furious.
Oh, yeah. Calls are being taken right now.
If you had to pick a winner, you going Pistons or Cavs?
Oh, I'm going Cavs.
Are you?
Cavs pull it off.
Really?
Yeah. Cavs.
I don't believe Donovan Mitchell has it in him.
Cavs,
I really don't.
Cavs pull it off. It'll be Cleveland and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final. That's my pick. You going Pistons?
I think I'll go Pistons, man. I like this this waterboarding guy. That's dedication.
You don't want it to go in vain.
No.
Yeah.
That's like really illegal.
It is.
Like you can't even do that anymore.
Yeah. Can't do it. And yet he's putting himself out there and enduring that pain for his
team.
For his Cleveland Cavaliers. Or, I mean, for his Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. Game 7 tomorrow should be a fun one.
There you go.
Well, we'll catch you next week.
It's been fun, man. Always a good time coming out here on Saturday, recapping the weekend sports. Again, very, very excited for the future of this Utah Jazz. Very excited for what they're able to do at the number 2 pick. But the decision seems very simple. If AJ is available at 2, you take AJ at 2. If he's not, then you go Darren Peterson or Caleb Wilson.
Ton of coverage all week. Be sure to tune in. The KSL Sports Zone 97.5. DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben, Monday through Friday. Breaking it down as always. And thanks for listening. It's the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
This year, experience the NHL Playoffs your way. Want to watch a single, do-or-die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series? Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.